Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope your Saturday is going great. Today's video is another shirt transformation video. I absolutely love doing these kinds of videos, and I found this gem of a linen shirt when I went out thrifting. I got it for about $3, and linen is just a dream to work with. It's breathable, it's eco-friendly, and when I saw this pink beautiful men's shirt, I just had to do something with it, and I turned it into this beautiful off-the-shoulder top that I think turned out so fab. It's perfect for the summer. You're showing skin, but it's also not too much. I am so in love with how this turned out, and I hope you are too. But before we get into this video and I show you how to make this bomb-ass top, today's video I have to mention is a collaboration with my friend Angelina over from Blueprint DIY. She does amazing upcycling videos, and she did this beautiful wrap shirt from a men's shirt, and I think it's super fab if I do say so myself. So make sure you check her out if you're into upcycling, which I guess you are because you are watching this video. So make sure you go watch hers. I will link it in the description bar down below and in the end card. Having said that, let's now move on onto this tutorial in case you want to see how to make a beautiful off-the-shoulder shirt. So first things first is to remove the pocket. I used a seam ripper for this. Literally took 5 minutes and you're good to go. And then I flipped the shirt to face downwards, like the back was facing me. That way I could fold in the sleeves a bit just to make my shirt have that off-shoulder shape. So the reason you're curving it a bit on the sleeves is because if you do a straight line, it's usually very problematic to like make your casing. So when you curve it a bit, it makes your life easier. So I do recommend that. Once you've cut off that bit of fabric, you're going to have this beautiful off-the-shoulder shape to work with. And now I'm going to create a casing for my elastic. So I folded in my shirt a bit at the top, and I left about a centimeter gap at the very top. This is going to help your ruffle bit look very finished and clean. So I do highly recommend that you do this. Having that bit at the top just makes it look so beautiful in my opinion. And yeah, so I just pinned all the way around, leaving that centimeter gap at the top. Once that was nice and pinned, I'm just going to sew all the way around, and as you can see, there's that bit of a gap at the top, so please make sure you leave that. It just makes things look a whole lot better in my opinion. And now moving on to my sewing machine, I just used a straight stitch all the way down. Make sure to always backstitch when you're starting and finishing your sewing, because you don't want all your hard work coming unraveled when you're done. So just make sure you backstitch, especially for the straight stitch, and just sew all the way around. Once that's done, that's what your shirt should look like at this point. And now it's time to make the actual casing for your elastic. So all I'm doing is I'm measuring my casing just to make sure it fits all the way through, especially in the shoulder bits. It's usually a bit tricky, so I do recommend you keep checking that your elastic will still fit once you stitch everything down. So I did this all the way around. I just pinned the fabric down. I also removed the button because I did not want it breaking my needle once I was sewing. So I just removed it and got rid of it because I really didn't need it anymore. So I just pinned all the way around and had my fun doing this. Once everything is pinned, just sew along the pins. Make sure you leave your gap for your elastic, and also make sure you leave a gap to pass your elastic through once everything is nice and sewn. So same process, I just used a straight stitch for this and sewed to my heart's content. Once that was done, this is what it should look like. As you can see, there's a casing in between, and now you're going to measure an elastic around your shoulders. Make sure it fits nice and snug, but it's not too tight that you're not able to lift your arms. And once you have that measurement of elastic, you're just going to take a safety pin, attach one end to your shirt, and then a safety pin on the other end, just to help you guide the elastic through your casing. So I take my sweet time with this and I enjoy it. I really do enjoy threading elastic. I don't know if I'm weird, but it just gives me so much content making a shirt fit so much better than it usually would. So that gives me joy. It's the small things in life, people. It's the small things in life. once your safety pin emerges on the other side, I'm just going to take out one safety pin and join them together, join the two ends together, that is. And I'm just going to shush out my elastic just to make sure she spreads out evenly, she's settled in the house, and I'm not evicting her prematurely. And once everything is nice and shushed, and make sure there is no twisting in your casing, I'm just going to sew the ends together, and once that's done, I'm just going to tack that back in and close the gap shut. After that's done, you're done with the top of your shirt, and now we're going to move on to making the elastic at the bottom. So I just marked the pin where I wanted my shirt to reach, and I cut about an inch below that. You always want to give yourself an allowance in case you make any mistakes. You have fabric to work with, and it's not going to end up just looking weird. And now I measured a very thick elastic around my waist. This is going to be the elastic at the bottom, and I just sewed that shut, and then I marked it into 4 bits just to make sure I could attach it evenly to my top. So after the 4 bits were marked, I just attached this to the 4 points of my shirt using some pins just to make sure everything was spread out evenly. I'm also going to hem the shirt as I attach the elastic, hence why I'm folding a bit of the fabric in and then attaching my elastic band. And definitely take your time with this. You want your elastic to spread out evenly, that way it doesn't look wonky in some bits and looks nice in some bits or gathers too much in other bits. So make sure you measure out your elastic. It really goes a long way in ensuring that everything is nicely spread. Once that is nice and done, you're just going to sew your elastic onto your shirt. So I started with sewing the bottom. Make sure you hem as you sew, and also make sure you stretch your elastic because you want it to gather the fabric so that it fits you nice and snug around your waist. Make sure you're really pulling the elastic as you sew. Don't pull the shirt though, because it's going to gather unevenly, so only pull the elastic and let it rest onto the fabric. That way when you let go, it gathers quite beautifully. Once that's done, that's what my first line of gathers looks like. And now I'm just going to sew along the other end to make sure it gathers nicely too. So just sew using a zigzag stitch. I use a zigzag stitch when working with elastic because zigzag allows for stretch, which is always good. You don't want this to be stiff and the thread to break apart when you put it on. So make sure you use a zigzag stitch. And this is what 2 rows looks like. And I'm going to add 1 final row in the middle so that we have nice and even gathers at the bottom of our shirt. So just make sure you really stretch your elastic as you sew, and once that's done, that's what your 3 rows should look like, and this is what they look like on the outside. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. This is what your shirt should look like at this point. And now we are almost done. It's now time to put the elastic into the sleeves. I know there's a lot of elastic in this, but elastic is essentially what holds this top together, and it's super easy to thread. So I think this is super easy to do. And all I'm doing is I'm making a casing for my arm elastic to go through. I basically just folded in the hem to make a casing and pinned all the way around. Once everything is nice and pinned, I'm just going to sew along the pins and make sure you leave a gap to pass your elastic through. And now I just measured an elastic that fit quite snug around my arms, and I just pinned a safety pin to one end and a hairpin on the other end because my pin was too big to go through this casing. So I just used a hairpin because it was easier, and I just threaded my elastic through. Once the hairpin came out the other end, I just took it out, and then I'm going to shush out my elastic, attach the safety pin to both ends, shush it out a bit more, and then I'm just going to sew the two ends of elastic together to make sure they don't come undone. And then I'm just going to close the gap, and you're essentially done with your top, and that's what it should look like. And this is the final result. I am so in love with how this turned out. I think it's such a fabulous top, and the fun part is it's super easy to make. So let me know if you're going to be trying this, and I would love it if you did. I promise you can do this even if you're a beginner. It just needs a bit of patience. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you taking some minutes to spend time with me today. I love you guys so much. Let me know what you thought of the video. Let me know what you'd like to see on my channel. I always love hearing from you guys. I do this for you guys, never forget that. And I'm so thankful that you were here for this video today, and I really hope I catch you in my next one, which will hopefully be very soon. Until then, take care of yourself, have a fabulous weekend, and go out and slay in your off-shoulder tops. Until next time, bye guys.